Okay, hey, what's up? Welcome to another video, and today we are going to talk all about the cooking pot. I think this is probably one of the most underrated appliances in the game. You can use this right away. No other engrams involved except being able to make the cooking pot. And you can find these in drops, as well as using your engrams to make them. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is two types of cooking pots that I have. This here is just your standard garden variety primitive cooking pot. And then I have right here the one that I'm probably going to be using most of the time, which is the S Plus cooking pot. Now, the only real difference between the two, as far as how they work, is the fact that the S Plus cooking pot has more slots, and when I want to make a recipe, I have the recipes right here in the cooking pot. I can look at my crafted foods, and I can look right there, and it'll tell me what I need to make it right there. Okay? And the regular cooking pot that you make, okay, this one right here, like this one right here. Alright, this one doesn't have any recipes except for when there's an event that's going on. In this case, we have the Summer Bash event. Let me just get rid of that cake. That's not going to help anything. And this shows what ingredients are needed for those. Most of it's cooked prime meat, which I don't have a lot of right now. If I want chibis, I got to have at least 10 to make a chibi. I can make sunglasses with just 250 cooked meat. Or, yeah, if I want one of these shirts, which I probably would. Got to have a lot more prime meat. And then for these emotes, I need 25. And let's see which one. The backflip would be kind of cool to have. But I don't have enough prime meat right now, so we will not talk about that right now. Okay. My goodness. You're all being noisy out here. Alright. So, let's talk a little bit about, like I say, I'm going to be using this one mostly, the S Plus. I get a few more slots with it, but otherwise it functions the same. Alright, so in order to use your cooking pot, there's a few different ways that you can use the cooking pot. One of them is to make the Rockwell recipes. Just making the regular recipes in here, and like I say, in the S Plus it tells you. But if you don't know what they are, or if you're using the regular standard cooking pot, you can just go to the wiki and it will tell you all of the recipes. Can I open this? Alright. I don't know if you can see this. I'll put a link to the recipes, the Rockwell recipes, and the dyes that you can make. We'll talk a little bit about those. Those are things that you can get right off the wiki. There's also a wiki about the custom consumable, and I'm going to talk a little bit about those. And you actually have a little consumable worksheet here you can use to make your own. Alright, so let's go into one of these here, and let's talk about the different recipes here. We have like I say, the consumables. You have the crafted foods, which includes things like the medical brew, The thing that I'm going to make today is the Mind Wipe Tonic. Make sure I have everything there. We'll have to see if we got enough measures. We might make a medical brew or two. I don't know if I have enough to make a kibble. Okay, but there are just certain rules that you need to apply in order to make these recipes, which we'll get to in a minute. All right, I'm going to get a few glass jars. I had my crystal last time. All right. So the first step in making the cooking pot work is getting some fuel. Now I'm going to use thatch because different fuels can make different things. Why don't I make a dye first? Let's do that. Let's make a dye. Let's get some wood. Okay. And I'm going to show you what happens if you use something like wood. Goodness, that music is loud. Alright, we're going to put some wood in there. Alright, and we're going to light the fire, and we're going to just let it go. Now, nothing's cooking in there because I don't have any ingredients. But I'm going to put one in there in a minute. First though, I want to fill up my... Let's get a drink. If I look inside my tap, oh, I've got some already filled with some water skins. Okay, I got my water skins. I'm going to put some more in here. I'm going to fill up my jars too using the tap. Alright, well, let's just leave those in there for now. And we will get some tinto berries. We'll get a couple of those. Alright, so if I... Alright, so I got my wood going. And a byproduct of wood is, of course, charcoal. I'm going to put some tinto berries in here. And I'll show you what you get when you get tinto berries plus charcoal plus 1 water. Yeah, you see what I'm making there? I just made 5 red dye. And it used up my water, and it used up some of my tinto berries, and it used up some of the charcoal. So tinto berries plus charcoal, it makes 5 red dyes. Alright, we'll use that in a little bit. I'll show you how to use the red dye. But right now we'll put out the fire. We're going to take out all of this stuff. And from now on, I'm going to use thatch because thatch does not create charcoal. I don't want the charcoal interfering with what I'm going to make next, which is going to be another recipe. I'm going to put that in there. It's a consumable. And it is the medical brew. The medical brew doesn't have any nutritional value, but it does promote healing. It's a healing brew is what it is. Let's put another one in here. I can make 2 of them. Alright. So you see, that's why I like the S+, because I don't have to guess about how much of each thing. I know that it's going to use 20 tinto berries, so I should be able to make 20 tinto berries and 2 narcotics, so I should be able to make 3 healing brews. Now remember, my health is capped, my level is capped at 25. That means that I'm really squishy. Alright, that means that I am squishy and fragile.
If from my other two videos, when I've gotten killed, I get killed pretty quickly, pretty fast, pretty easily. The medical brew can help mitigate that. When something is knocking my health down, I can put that down there in my health bar. I can drink that and get some of my health back. Because, look here, 140 is my health. That's as high as I can get it. Until I respec, but I've only got 25 points to put in here. That's why I have to play it more strategic at this level, at this low level. All right, let's take out, we'll leave those in there. All right, now medical brews do spoil. Anything that I make in here will spoil over time. And right now the spoil time is about 2 hours. So that's not too bad. Let's go ahead and put that in here. Now my spoil time is 19 hours. Much better. The paint does not spoil. The dyes that you make in the cooking pot does not spoil. Now let's take my shirt off a minute. And if I put that over, I can paint my weapons. I can paint my clothes. We'll paint one of these just real quick here. All right. You've got different regions here, and I'm going to highlight my dye. And what I can do is have a look. I can preview. All right. And if you can see the different regions, my shoulders. All right. My chest and in those areas, or the little strings on my sleeves. I kind of like that one. I'm going to apply my paint. Okay, and that used ones. Now I can do more than one region. I can do we can do the shoulders, maybe, or the strings in front, the collar. I don't even know what that is. You can turn this around and look at the back. I think this is just the strings. Yeah. We'll just do the shoulder pads. All right. And we'll just let that be that. Put on my jacket. And there we go. All right. Now you can see my new duds. And I can color the pants and the shoes and the hat, the gloves. I can do all of that with using the dye. So now we've talked a little bit about some custom recipes. We've talked a little bit about, we've talked about the Rockwell recipes. We've talked about the dyes. Okay, we can make a custom recipe. All right. This is the last thing, and this is probably one of the neatest things you can do. We're going to make, what do we need here to make this? We're going to make a note. Do I need to unlock the note? Making fiber and thatch. All right, I got fiber. Let's get some thatch. Alrighty, and let's craft a couple of notes. Now we're not going to write anything on the notes. We're just going to have them. We're just going to accept. We'll just cancel out here. Accept. Okay. If we look at, we'll take this stuff out of here. Alrighty. Now, if I put my note in there, you'll see that I got a new button. It says auto crafting everything. All right. And so when you auto craft something, all right, you're going to make your own custom recipe. Let me get some stuff here. I'm going to get some vegetables. What kind of vegetables should I get? How about citronelle. I got a bunch of that. And the sava root. All right. Yeah, I got quite a bit of that. And then, how about some mejos? We got lots of those. And I think that will do it. I'm getting encumbered. Unfortunately, there's no weight tonic. That would be pretty cool. Let me split those in half, put them in here, so I'm not carrying huge stacks. Gonna leave that. Well, let's go split that in half and put that in there. Split that in half. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to put 50 mejos and let's put one more. Now, the thing is that while I'm fiddling around here, this stuff does spoil. So, got to keep an eye on that. All right, so I got 20, basically 20 vegetables, 10 of those, and 50 of those. All right, so if I put, all right, I'm going to have my make recipe, okay, and you get a choice. You can make a food or you can make a drink. I'm going to make a drink, okay. And you have a couple of different options of drinks. You can have the little solo cup or the little handled teacup, I guess it would be. I'm going to have the solo cup. All right, and then we've got 3 different color regions. This one, you could, and then you pick what color you want. So I can, let's see, I can do let's do a yellow. We're gonna make some hard lemonade here. All right, and then I'll go to the next one, and I can make a blue solo cup. And what's the other region here? That's the edge. I'll just leave it white. Okay, so I can name this Super Lemonade, and then I can change the description. Do not operate heavy dinos while under the influence. All right, and then I can say make recipe. All right, so what just happened there? Where'd my recipe go? Oh, there it is. It's right here in my. All right, so if I want to make this, you can gas this up, okay, this custom crafting, by doing a mind wipe and putting all of your points into crafting skill and respecking that way. And when you do that, okay, then you'll get better results off your recipe. Instead of 68 water, you might get 200 water, and you'll get more stamina and health or healing power behind that. Now you can experiment with the different things. I used vegetables because I knew
I knew vegetables would give me a lot more bang for my buck, but let me unload all of this. For the thirst, I thought it would do a little bit better, honestly. I need to make a bookcase for my blueprints. I'll just stick this in here with the rest of the blueprints. And yeah, so that is the cooking pot that I have. Again, I have to get some more prime meat in order to make my mind wipe, and that's kind of its own thing. But using these recipes, let's go back into here. Okay, again, you can use the kibbles for taming. You give the animal its preferred kibble, it tames a lot quicker. You get better taming effectiveness. There's going to be other avenues that I'm going to use these in this playthrough. I'm going to have to go to some caves. So I'm going to need, like the lava cave, I might use some Callian soup, which will help keep me cooler and consume less water. Free a curry. When I go into an ice cave, it'll help keep me warmer. The Lazarus chowder. I use oxygen much, much slower, so when I'm in the water, because at level 25, I can't get a scuba tank. So there's some challenges in there. And some of these other things can give me increased melee damage, increased damage resistance. That might be good for caving. You can combine some of these. They do kind of stack. There are some of these that I don't have access to, like the cactus broth, because this is the island. I don't have cactus. Or mushroom brew. I don't have mushrooms on this until I get to aberration. So these, the next one, how about this? Focal chili. That's what I should have used when I was making my recipe, because you can increase your crafting skill using focal chili. All right, and that gives the citronelle, the cooked meat, the mejo berries, the tinto berries. There's a lot of ingredients here, but I have them. I think I have them. Stick it in here, light the fire, and there we go. We see it crafting right now. That's what I should have done before I made my recipe. Unfortunately, I'm going to use my vegetables up. All right, we'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to make another recipe with the leftovers. Okay, and see if, there we go. Alrighty. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to put that in. Alright, so now I got my focal chili going. $45, $10. We use corn. so I'm close to 20 vegetables here. Okay, make recipe. Again, I'm going to go for the drink. Let's go yellow. Alright. Lemonade, super yummy. Make the recipe. Close that. Open it. Alright, so this time I had my focal chili going. And this does, my water is 220. Twice as much. That's what I wanted to show. The power of the focal chili. Alright, so this recipe, I don't have to take focal chili when I make it from now on. I can chuck that one. I'll keep the drinks. And I'll chuck that one. Alright, so that recipe is a good one. Okay. Because I had roughly twice as much crafting skill, the focal chili increases the crafting skill by 100%. So this little demonstration took longer than I anticipated. So I got 220 water out of that, which is a lot more, 3 times more than these two, just by taking the focal chili. Using roughly the same type of ingredients. Okay, so from now on, alright, I want a supercharged drink. I'm going to drink some lemonade. I can carry that with me, and again, in here it's spoils in 19 hours. This has a spoiling timer of 1 day, 23 hours. 58 minutes, yeah. So 2 days, 19 days. Okay, yeah. So that's yeah. That and it only weighs 1, whereas my jar weighs 5. So I can save a little weight and don't have to worry about finding water. I can just have that lemonade with me, and I increase my health by 29 points and stamina by 11. So it has double the medicinal value, if you will. So I can use it almost like a healing tonic. It doesn't go as fast as the medical brew. It heals over time. But it is a good thing. For instance, if it was getting cold and I was freezing to death, I could take that. Or if it was hot and I was dying of thirst, I take one of these. It rejuvenates my health and my stamina. So that is the story of the cooking pot. Custom recipes, dyes, crafting recipes, Rockwell recipes. You can use this day 1. You don't have to be a certain level to use the cooking pot. If you happen to find one in a white drop, go ahead and grab it, put it down, and start making some recipes, make some healing brews. Get your crops going early. I recommend you do that as quick as you can. And so you can start making some of these things. All right. Well, I want everybody to have a good one, and we'll catch you on the next one.